Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great week. Can't wait to see all of your videos. I really enjoyed the reading this week. It kind of hit close to home. My mom's taught for 20-something years and my dad's in education administration, so these are the kinds of conversations that we would have over the dinner table, discussing these sorts of things that they saw on a daily basis. So I grew up very opinionated about education. I do feel like the government has a huge role and a huge impact in education, namely funding. I think funding is the key point, the key issue even, if you will, that the government plays a part in. So in terms of higher education, the federal government and the state government provide a lot of funding, but it's very directed funding. It's funding that is placed kind of in terms of what they're interested in and what their stakes are in, if you will. So they do so because there's a necessity for research and for higher education and for more knowledge in all areas, but especially in key areas like politics and economics, the medical field, anything that the government is interested in, they're going to definitely push a little more funding and a little bit more educational interest towards those areas. There are also a lot of mandates for study in these areas, so of course the funding is allocated accordingly. I think that the government has helped higher education in the sense that it has provided the funding for, even if it is certain topics, it's provided the funding necessary for students to be able to pursue an education in these topics, and for research to be conducted and for resources to be thrown at these topics. Even if they're not the topics that most people want to study, it has provided a lot of funding towards it, and it's provided funding towards other areas as well. I also think it's helped in the sense that it has mandated certain standards to be followed, and it's mandated that each school teach certain standards and each school make sure that students are educated to a certain level and to a certain degree. That kind of helps ensure a well-rounded student, and it helps ensure that everybody from across the country and across the state are kind of on the same level when it comes to different programs from different schools. You learn the same thing, so that's definitely helpful. A hindrance, I would say, would be guiding education towards these points of interest for the government and not necessarily towards what the students may want to study. There's a lot more funds allocated for these certain things. We see it even from a technical college standpoint. We have certain areas that are important to our state, such as truck driving, welding, Caterpillar technology, John Deere technology, medical assisting. All of those things are in high demand right now in our state, so we have additional scholarships available just for you being a full-time student here. So we're kind of guiding these students towards a certain area of study based on what our government and our funds say is important. So that's kind of a hindrance. Also, the financial aspect of it can be a hindrance because the loans and the financial aid that's given can be difficult to obtain, and once they are obtained, they can be difficult to pay back, especially if you live in an area where it's not easy to find a job right away, or if you live in an area where maybe you find a job but it doesn't pay very well and you're not where you can move. So I think that the government has certainly both helped and hindered the process. But overall, providing funding and providing financial resources to throw towards these things is without a doubt what determines whether or not people go to school. There's no way around it. So I think although they have hindered a little bit, I would say that that overall I feel like the contributions of the government towards education have by far been a positive outcome. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing all of your videos. Have a great day.